This video is brought to you by the FARMER-KLEIN YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Dunalka. But before that, this video is brought to you by Adam and Charlie Farmer. Thank you for being farm barons. So Dunalka can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for PC only. Now, the reason this is a PC-only map is because, as you can see right here in the preview, this is a 4X map. We have seen 4X maps go into console testing in FS22, but as of yet, we have not seen a 4X map make its way out of testing and release for console. So at this point, we're just going to do a general rule of thumb that 4X maps are going to be available for PC only on the Giants Mod Hub. Let's read a little bit of the description. Welcome to Dunalka, a 4x4 kilometer map with plenty of farmlands and fields. There is a total of 100 toys hidden across the map. So this map does include the Elm Creek collectibles. 101 fields waiting for you to work on. Added extra terrain angles, and it is possible to use the ponds and river to refill water. With that, let's go ahead and load this map up. We are going to use additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, and field calculator during this map video. Let's pull up the log and watch the map load on up. If you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, you will notice the main farm is built out exactly how you see it here, minus the fact that there is no machinery at the start, and we do not own any land at the start. This map is also based on a Google Earth image, so if you are into realistic maps, well, this one I have to say probably can't get too much more realistic than this with respect to the overall field layout. So let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA itself. So you can see that right there. We do have all the standard crop types available to us here on Farm Sim 22. And if we look at the lands area, you'll see we start out by owning the main farm and field 35. That is 10.61 acres in size for $257,000. Now, we cannot buy some portions of this map while we can buy other portions of the map. So I just wanted to caution you there. For example, we cannot buy this portion over here. Cannot buy a portion of the town. This map does not include a biogas plant. So if you want to use a biogas plant, you will be needing to put one down yourself. And now we're going to go ahead and move to the farmland lease screen. And we use this screen to show us where our farmlands are. If those farmlands include fields, those fields numbers will be listed here on the screen. And it's also going to show us the size of the buyable farmland and the price of the buyable farmland. So as the description said, this map includes 101 fields. I'm just going to go ahead and slowly scroll through here. You're going to be able to see that most of this buyable land is going to be pretty big. 20 hectares in size, 30 hectares, 40 hectares. We've got some fields down here in the sub 10 hectare range. But these are going to be pretty substantial fields. If you're somebody that wants to work on a realistic map with large fields, then I think this map just might be what you have been looking for. All right, with that, let's go ahead and move on down to our next screen, which is going to be the field calculator screen. And this one is going to show us the individual fields and the actual sizes of those fields, which can be different than the actual sizes of the buyable farmlands. So we're just going to slowly scroll through this. We do not see any prices on this because basically we're buying the farmland, not necessarily individual fields. But again, you can see we have fields that range from, let's say, 6 hectares, 2.38 hectares. Here's one for 28. We've got one right down here for 24. 33 hectares in field 73. And then we'll take a look at our crop calendar. You'll see that we do include the standard base game crop calendar here on the map. And if we move on down to our prices screen, you'll see that we can indeed sell every single crop that we can grow here on this map. And we can also sell all of our animal outputs in eggs, wool, and milk. We also have the ability to sell silage, hay, straw, and grass. And then as we move into our productions, we do have the ability to sell all of the productions that we can create with the base game of Farming Simulator 22. So that is always good to see when the map maker has covered basically all of the bases. While we do have 11 production items built into this map, we do have the ability to sell things that aren't included in the map, and therefore we have really a lot of potential expansion. We also have a stone crusher, so it's good to see that has been remembered. We take a look at our starting equipment. We start out with a fairly small list of equipment, given the fact that this is a 4X map, but we only own one field at the start. Do not have any animals on the map. We do have contracts available, and we do not own any production chains. As far as our starting equipment, we start out with the John Deere 4755 medium tractor, the Dutzfar Topliner 4090H harvester that is paired up with the 4090H grain header. We have the Welger DK115 trailer, the Rabe EG39 cultivator, and the Nordstein HK25 NS3030 seeder. And then we have a 750 kilogram front weight. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a farm tour. Won't take very long because, well, there really isn't a lot to this farm. We have a decorative building here. Serves no other purpose other than taking up space. But you will be good to know that you can indeed get rid of that building if you want. In fact, we can get rid of all the buildings here at the starting farm. So the farms are completely, or should I say, the farm is completely customizable. You start out with a farmhouse with a sleep trigger. Then we have a barn, and then do pay attention. Like I said, we do have collectibles on the map. Now, if you happen to sell this barn before you collect the tractor does remain, but it will be over a hole. So very likely you're going to want to collect that tractor before you go and sell the barn. Our farm silo is just down the hill here. Here we have our base game farm silo. So we have our dump point and our fill pipe located right there. And that, well, that is the main farm. You can see our starting equipment, and then field 35, which is the field that we start with, is located right here. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and get set up for the fly around. We'll fly around the map, and then settle down at the vehicle shop, get in our Mahindra, and then drive around to all of the sell points, production, and other points of interest. Now, I do have to say, this is, in my opinion, a no-frills farming first map. Now, we have seen fairly recently a 4X map that had a lot of, well, I called them gimmicks when I was doing the video. There was a lot of extras, a lot of unique roleplay things that you could turn on and off. We could flood the town, we could cause fires, we could activate car crashes, and there was a mine. We could have road construction. We could work in a commercial construction area and dig out stone and things like that. This map has none of that. This is, like I said, a no frills 4X farming first map. We do have irregularly shaped fields, and we do have 101 of those irregularly shaped fields. Some fairly large fields kind of to the north and south of the map. then some of the smaller fields in the northwest or the northeast section of the map. So with that, let's go ahead and kind of explore what we've got going on here. For a big section here of the southwest, it's just farmland. Nothing really in particular is going on here. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of just skip that area. Over here we have a bakery off by itself over by field 14. And while we're talking about production, let's go ahead and do a rundown of the production that is available on the map. There are 11 production points built in. We have 2 spinneries, a bakery, a carpentry shop, a cereal mill, dairy, oil, a grape processing facility, a grain mill, sawmill, and then a cheese dairy. So we have our bakery down below. So we are going to give the map a full point with regard to having production items built in. The map is also going to get a full point with regard to having the ability to sell all the basic game outputs and production areas. So we have a lime silo down there, kind of at an AI farm. We're going to give the map a full point with regard to having a completely customizable main farmyard, because we can sell every single building that is there. It's a pretty basic farmyard. Like I said, this map is no frills. That is not necessarily a bad thing either, because, well, it's not pretending to be anything other than just pure farming. That is what this map is intended for. Let's get a little bit more speed. Down below we have our carpentry. I believe this is where we have our animal dealer, as well as a spinnery. Maybe mistaken on that, so we just need to check during the drive around, but we definitely have a spinnery located right there. We're coming to kind of the town area on the map. We have a log sell point and a sawmill located directly below. Over in this general direction, we have our vehicle shop. We have a lime silo. We have our grain mill located directly in front. The dairy is going to be located over here to the left. We then have a pair of sell points located right there. For whatever reason, our wardrobe trigger is here at the diner. Kind of interesting. Over here on our right is the cheese dairy. And we're making our way over here to what I believe is the grape processing facility. Located right there. We have a farmer's market style sell point located just beyond that. Now let's head over here to the top of the hill. Here we're going to have our animal dealer, a lime silo, and then very likely a bale sell point. The main farm is just over there to the right. We're kind of looking at it right there. What we're going to do is we're going to going across. Make our way over to, I believe this is the cereal mill. If I am remembering correctly. Indeed it is. Indeed it is the cereal mill. Making our way kind of toward the eastern edge of the map. We have a grain silo below for grain sales. We have another lime silo buy point located right here by field 68. Another grain sell point right here along the edge of the map. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and make my way back up to the vehicle shop. That's where we're going to pick back up. And then we'll do a drive around to all the various points of interest and get kind of a more ground level feel for how the lay of the land is here on Dunalka. So down here at the shop, we have our shop trigger located at this particular building. Go ahead and get the Mahindra. And then our maintenance, sell, customize, and repair trigger is located kind of across the yard here. Over here at this other building. Nice large area set aside for that. And a pretty decent area here for our machinery to spawn in at, so we shouldn't have any issue in buying large machinery or a decent quantity of machinery before we fill up the vehicle spawn point. Also down here at the shop we have our stone crusher. Located right here. And then we have a lime fill silo. Located right there. And I just want to see. We do indeed have a fuel station located right here. Now let's make our way over to another kind of cluster of triggers. This would be the sawmill. So we have the production sawmill over here. We have our drop point for our logs. We have our log cell trigger. We have our spawn point for our pallets of planks. We then have a wood chip point right over here. And then we have a more traditional log cell point located right here, and then the log cell trigger. Let's make our way over here and make our way up the road along field 40. This map does not appear to have any sort of AI traffic on it. And all of the roads are just painted roads. So you can go to town merging fields, eliminating roads if you want to continue the field all the way up to the tree line. Another kind of advantage to this particular map is the fact that it is really open to a lot of customization with regard to that. So here we have our spinnery, one of our spinneries. Our interactive icon at the door, dump station, and fabric spawn point along the side. Over here we have, I guess this is the second spinnery. We have an additional spinnery where we have our dump station and our fabric spawn point. So both of the spinneries are located right here adjacent to each other. Then we're going to take this road up to the carpentry shop. Bushes are a little overgrown on the road, but okay. So we have our interactive icon, our dump station, our log cell trigger, and our furniture pallet spawn point. Once we get past these bushes, I want to go ahead and get on into the first person camera as we drive over to the next section of the map. This is, of course, to give you a little bit of a perspective on kind of how the land lays, terrain changes, field elevations, and the like. Our vehicle shop is directly in front of us at this point. I'm going to just drive right on past that. We'll head over here to a grain cell point. But even here we have painted road. We do not have a fixed model road. This is, the flour mill. So we have our dump station. Pallet spawn point and our interactive trigger. Be careful, be careful. We don't want to get down in the water, but this is one of the ponds that the description mentioned where you're able to fill water out of. one of the two dairies. This is going to be the one that produces chocolate, cheese, and butter. Base game and dairy area. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, there we have another fine collectible tractor. We have a sell point over here. Then another one at the diner. Make our way over here to the cheese shop. The second dairy on the map, but this one is going to focus on cheese and cheese alone. We have our dump station. Our interactive area. Our pallet spawn point around the back. Now, with respect to the map using buildings that are using the new texture technique, as well as ground textures using the new technique, yes, we do have Farm Sim 22 buildings from all three base maps, from Elm Creek, Erlengrot, and Holt by the Root. So we've got all of those on the map. So those are obviously using the new texture technique for the windows, the sidings, and the like. And then we also have the new ground textures as animal ground textures. So we're going to go ahead and give the map a full point with regard to using the new texture techniques. We have our animal dealer. So we have the animal dealer sell point. We have a lime station just up the road. And then our animal dealer trigger itself. I think you can see, as I said, the map is kind of a no-frills farming first 4X map. Doesn't pretend to be too much more than it really is. That is a 4X map with a realistic field layout, hopefully realistic terrain elevations. Multi-terrain angle has been increased on this. Which could be one reason why this map, even in its 4X variant, was not able to make its way over to console. Possibly the additional terrain angles put too great of a load on even the console systems. To the grain dump station. Wind our way around. Our way over here to the cereal factory. located right here. So we have our dump station, our interactive icon, and our pallet spawn point for the cereal factory. A few more points of interest, a bit of driving, though, to get to the final two. Is kind of the main thing you run into with 4X maps is the long drive times. Just going to sneak across. Was going to take a shortcut until we ran into a river. I think we have a bridge coming up. We found our way across the river. Right over to that particular sell point, which is going to be another grain sell point. Right here along the edge of the map. We missed our turn. I think this map is going to appeal to a unique crowd. Just like the 4X map that we looked at recently, that had all of those interesting roleplay elements to it. That's going to appeal to one crowd, and I think this map may appeal to a completely different crowd. I think this map is going to appeal to the crowd that is just looking to play on a big map with decent sized fields, and if they're looking for production, maybe they're looking just for some light production, nothing too terrible heavy or hard on the production. Or if you want, I mean, there's plenty of fields, right? You can easily sacrifice a field for ultimately, your production aspects. The ease of being able to merge fields, rearrange how the roads are going, because all the roads are just simply painted in. We have our farm silo. As I said, it's pretty basic map. It doesn't pretend to be a lot of things. I would like to have maybe seen a little bit more on the decorative element with respect to some of these sell points and production points, where we have spawn points or dump stations kind of out in the middle of the grass. You could have extended the gravel over to it, or put a concrete pad down where the pallets are going to spawn and such. I think that would have been nice. Some of the buildings just feel like they just kind of plopped down, and then a road was drawn over to them. Thought I missed my turn, but I hadn't actually missed it. So that is the main farm over there to our left. Come over here, this is going to be a lime station on our right. I haven't seen too many utility poles. These do have collisions on them, but still you should be able to get around the map with fairly large machinery. We have our lime station. Fill trigger. Now, with respect to, are the player triggers and interactive areas clearly marked? They are, but again, a lot of these buildings, like for example, the cheese dairy. The dump station was in a patch of grass. The pallet spawn point around the back of the building was just grass. So some of these areas just feel like they maybe could use a little bit of extra care and attention with respect to the dump station spawn points. Kind of have, you know, a little bit of a path up to them. So while they are marked, I wouldn't necessarily say that they are all clearly marked. So to that extent, I think we're going to knock the map back a quarter of a point. Not too terrible bad, but just a quarter of a point on that regard. So ultimately, we're going to give the map a score of 4.75 out of 5. It could have easily gotten a full 5 out of 5 if the various production areas and sell points just kind of had roads and pathways leading up to their dump stations and kind of pallet spawn points with some consistency. But overall, I think this is a really interesting map. I think it's going to appeal to the player that's just looking for a 4X map to do decent sized farming on. I think that's going to work out great for them. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the map? And here we have one more lime silo. Here at this AI farm. Located right there. So that, guys, is going to conclude this particular video. Like I said, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this particular map? Is it something you're going to add to the to get around to playing list? Have you already started playing on the map? And what are your impressions? And until next time, happy farming.